Hi everyone and welcome along. Now we have got spaces filling up on our Morocco botanical watercolour retreat in June next year, and I would love for you to join me. So I thought, let's paint one of the amazingly vibrant flowers native to Morocco, just so you can get a little taste of what's going to be there to paint when we go. So today we're going to paint the beautiful pink oleander flower. So grab your paints and let's get started. Okay, so we're going to paint this beautiful flower which has multiple blooms coming out from a single stem, and we're going to paint it in a nice sort of loose manner. And this is just one of the amazing flowers in Morocco that we're going to see and we're going to paint on my latest up-trek trip, and I would love for you to join me. We've got some spaces left. I know they're filling up fast, but it would be really, really cool to have you there. And the time of year we're going is going to be absolutely incredible for the flowers and plant life. So I thought let's just have a little taster of it now. So I've got some opera rose and some permanent rose, and I'm going to paint the opera rose first, and I'm just going to paint in petals with my, I can't see the number there, size 8 brush here. And we've got a sort of 5 petal, almost like a sort of windmill spiral going on. Fifth one going in. We're going to paint in a few more of those. So we've already been to France, south of France, with Uptrek, and had a really wonderful time, and it's just so exciting for me to teach my botanical painting style in different places in the world to make the most of the different plants and flowers that we're going to come across. Right, and one more, third one, and it doesn't matter that it's going to sort of bleed into these other petals here. There we go. And when in France, we had 16 ladies who all painted at the standard they felt they were at was beginners, and everybody sort of was a really sort of individual in their style. And what was really great is everybody just worked so beautifully, and the confidence was incredible how it developed. Oh, I can hear the dogs barking downstairs. We won't have that in France, in Morocco. Right, so I'm going to take some Alizarin Crimson and mix it in with a little bit of sap green. So the mixture here I've got of the Alizarin Crimson and sap green is a really interesting mix. It's quite dark and sort of woody, but it's also quite rich as well. And so we're going to just have that as our main stem for these flowers. And I'm just painting that with a size 0 brush, following the pencil lines I put in. But I'm also going to add one extra one just coming off the side here underneath, and creating a little Alizarin Crimson bud. Maybe just popping in a bit of permanent rose into the top of that there as well. Okay, and I think a few other little buds just creeping in behind there will be lovely. And I can sort of see a few in my reference photo just creeping in behind. It's a lovely sort of bountiful flower. Let's have another little extra stem, shall we? Okay, whilst we're waiting for all of this to dry, we can draw in the rest of our stem, which is going to be this lovely sort of woody colour. So we're going to Morocco from the 29th of June to the 6th of July 2024, and everything we could possibly want at the Atlas Casbah. It's amazing. It's got a gorgeous pool, it's got air conditioning, it's set in the most incredible grounds and gardens, so we're going to have loads of beautiful things to paint on our doorstep, as well as heading out for a few trips into palaces, gardens, souks. That'll be cool. And we'll be doing a bit of painting out and about, as well as really focusing in on learning plants and flowers in the gardens and the Casbah. Okay, so I've got some sap green here in a size 8 brush, and I'm going to just paint in leaves, whether you want to go from the bottom to the top. We'll have one more. And now we'll just sort of blend that brown into the green. And we've got all our basic washes painted in, so now we just need to let that dry and then we can start to do our detail. So the next stage is to have a look at the centre of the flowers. So I've got some cadmium yellow, and we're going to make a little starburst, cool little starburst. We only need a little bit of the yellow. I'm going to place that in, really dilute, and then I'm going to take some permanent rose and just sort of blend into the yellow and create this lovely sort of, it's almost like a second little flower that sits in the middle of the main petals. So we're going to repeat that on all three. This flower is just slightly angled, so we'll have some sort of slightly sort of squashed one down here. So I'm using the permanent rose mixture that we were sort of using a little bit for the petals, and just that little gentle bit of wet yellow in the middle, it bleeds into it really nicely, as long as we don't sort of fuss about with the colour too much and just let it do its thing. I'm doing this all with the size 2 brush, and we'll be adding in a little bit more detail to those, as we are with all bits. So let's get a little bit more, let's get a bit of Payne's grey into this dark mix here now. So we can now start to add little sort of knobbles down the stem. And you can see my style of painting flowers is very much trying to capture the essence without doing sort of hours and hours of detailed study. We like to be able to paint lots of things on the retreats, and so yeah, we have a fun time doing it. So here we go. Here's some Payne's grey mixed in with the sap green, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to paint up one half and then down the other, leaving just a little bit of unpainted space in the middle to create a lovely leaf line of detail up the middle. So if you've always maybe hoped to come on a workshop with me, then this is your opportunity to come along and take up one of those spaces, because it was just such a special week in France. I had such an amazing time, and I can't wait to get back on an Uptrek trip, because they are just so brilliantly organised, and that's what you want, isn't it, when you're travelling, to have an organised kind of company who are just taking care of every little detail. And once you've got there, you've got me teaching you painting for the week, and that's, well, I think that's a pretty cool thing. And all the details are in the episode notes below, so there's a link with loads more information and photos of the venue and the area, and yeah, it's going to be really cool. So you can see just how, by doing that, it's quite a clever trick to bring those leaves really to life. Okay, so we're now going to look back up at the top of the plant with our flowers again, and I need to make sure that I've got a deeper colour once more. So I'm going to get a little bit of concentrated permanent rose, and I'm going to mix in a little bit of Alizarin Crimson just to get a little bit of extra definition. And with my size 0 brush, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to paint a few sort of flicks of colour, almost like flames, out of the centres there. So quite often when I'm painting, you sort of feel like you got to a point where you're finished, and then I'm nearly always the person who's like, there's one more thing. So what I want to do is just create just a little bit more sort of interest on the outer petals. So I'm just taking a bit of the original petal wash, maybe just a little bit stronger, and with a size 2 brush I'm just adding like a few sort of petal details, and also just helping sort of define the 3 flowers from each other, because there is this wonderful sort of twisting sensation when you look at this flower, and I think adding in these bits of colour really help. So if you think that this is the kind of thing you'd love to paint a bit more of, you'd love to travel to a beautiful spot and do some painting with me, then why not take one of those spaces for yourself and come with me to Morocco in June. They've just had a really fantastic Uptrek trip there in September, which was a wonderful success. And you can look at past retreats on the Uptrek website if you want to get just a better sense of what all goes on there and how it all works. And of course, if you've got any sort of other questions, concerns about logistics and any other things that might cross your mind, you just give Uptrek an email, and all the details are below as well for their contact details. Now the last thing I'm going to do, I'm just adding like a tiny bit of shadow, so I'm just getting some of that Payne's grey and mixing it into the lovely sort of aubergine colour we've been painting the stem with, and just finding a few little areas to just help sort of define the shapes of the leaves. These little things just really help bring it to life. And there we have an oleander flower. Thanks so much for watching. I really hope you enjoyed that one. And if you would love more information on the Morocco trip, then just head to the description below the video and you'll see a link and all the information there. I want to say a huge thank you to our patrons for their support, because that support enables us to keep creating videos like these that everyone can enjoy. And if you enjoyed it, then hit the like button and comment below. It makes such a difference to our visibility as a channel. And of course, if you never want to miss another video, then hit the subscribe button and the little notification bell, and we'll see you again next time. Bye!